Welcome to my bold and beautiful Today's Show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. Race against time as Finn, Bridget and Grace fight to save Liam from terminal brain tumor. B&B spoilers. Dr. Finn Finnegan leads a desperate medical crusade alongside Bridget Forrester and Grace Buckingham to find a miracle treatment for Liam Spencer's inoperable brain tumor, as time rapidly runs out. Medical miracle or final heartbreak? On B&B, Finn leads a desperate race to save Liam's life. Just when you thought bold and beautiful couldn't get more gut-wrenching, the soap is delivering one of the most emotional medical storylines in years. Dr. Finn Finnegan has assembled a dream team of brilliant minds in a desperate bid to save Liam Spencer from his terminal brain tumor, and I'm already reaching for tissues every single episode. As time passes, the elite medical team changes. The tension is palpable as Finn brings in the big guns Bridget Forrester and Dr. Grace Buckingham to create what fans are calling the neurological dream team. This isn't just any medical case for Finn. What started as professional duty has become deeply personal, especially as Liam's symptoms visibly worsen. Did you catch those dark circles under Liam's eyes last week? The makeup department deserves an Emmy for making his deterioration look so heartbreakingly real. The dizzy spells are increasing too, making the doctor's race against time even more urgent. The tumor is inoperable, but I refuse to accept there's nothing we can do, Finn declared in Monday's emotional scene. And let me tell you, Tanner Novlin is absolutely crushing these performances. From love triangle to brotherhood. Let's talk about the wild evolution here. Remember when Finn caught Liam kissing Steffi? There was a time when these two could barely be in the same room. Finn is now frantically working around the clock to save his former rival. In Wednesday's episode, Finn promised Liam he'd leave no stone unturned in his search for treatment options. That moment between them where Liam thanked Finn not just for trying to save him but for being there for Steffi and Kelly had me absolutely sobbing. The irony isn't lost on fans. As one viewer put it on social media, "Never thought I'd be this invested in a Finn-Liam friendship after years of the Hope, Liam? Steffi triangle. The high-stakes medical mission." Sources tell me the medical team is exploring everything: experimental drugs, gene therapy, cutting-edge radiation techniques, and even immunotherapy. Nothing is out of the question. Behind the scenes, Finn has been pulling 20-hour days researching Liam's case, with Bridget leveraging her connections at international research hospitals. Meanwhile, Dr. Grace is focusing on quality-of-life treatments to manage Liam's increasing symptoms. But here's where it gets really interesting. I'm hearing whispers that Finn may reach out to a brilliant, but controversial former mentor, who specializes in impossible cases. Is this the miracle Liam requires? Or just another dead end in this heartbreaking journey? The emotional toll on everyone. While the doctors work frantically in their labs, the emotional stakes couldn't be higher. Steffi is trying to stay strong, but watching her husband pour everything into saving her ex is creating a complicated swirl of emotions. And Hope? She's absolutely devastated but determined to support Liam through every step. The scene where she promised to fight this battle alongside him while secretly knowing his diagnosis was Emmy-worthy stuff from Annika Noel. The pressure is affecting Finn as well. After a particularly difficult day of failed treatment options, we saw him break down in private, a rare vulnerable moment for the usually composed doctor. By itself, that scene demonstrated how personally involved he has become in Liam's case. What happens next? Let's be real, B&B loves a good medical miracle. Remember when Taylor had broken heart syndrome, that mimicked heart failure? Or when Ridge made a full recovery after falling from that helicopter? Soaps have a long tradition of 11th-hour medical breakthroughs. But the way they're showing Liam's deterioration has me genuinely worried. Those dizzy spells are getting worse. And did you notice how he had to grab the wall to steady himself in Friday's episode? If the doctors do find a treatment, I'm betting it will involve sending Liam abroad for an experimental procedure. Can't you just see Dollar Bill chartering a private jet to fly the entire medical team to some cutting-edge clinic in Switzerland? That's exactly the kind of dramatic twist B&B loves to deliver. Or, and this is my personal theory, what if Finn puts his own medical license on the line by trying an unapproved treatment? The ethical dilemma would create incredible drama, especially if Steffi opposes such a risky move while Hope supports it. One thing's certain: the bond forming between Finn and Liam is changing the dynamic of this show in ways I never expected. And I'm here for every heart-wrenching moment of it. Will Finn find a miracle cure before time runs out? Or are we witnessing the beginning of one of the soap opera's most tragic exits? Grab your tissues. Soap fans, this emotional roller coaster is just getting started. From antagonistic rivals to potential friends. A devastating revelation about Liam's terminal condition forces longtime rivals Steffi and Hope to put aside their differences, potentially becoming besties in their shared grief. From bitter enemies to besties, Steffi and Hope's shocking hug changes everything. In a moment that had me literally gasping, Steffi Forrester and Hope Logan just did the unthinkable on the bold and the beautiful. They hugged it out. And not just any hug, folks. We're talking about a full-on emotional, we're in this together embrace that has shaken the very foundation of BNB's longest-running feud. Is this the beginning of daytime's most unexpected friendship? Or just a temporary truce before these legendary rivals go back to their catfighting ways? The hug that broke the internet. For those who missed Thursday's jaw-dropping episode, let me set the scene. There was Steffi, standing in Brook's living room of all places, delivering the most devastating news imaginable to Hope that Liam Spencer is suffering from an inoperable brain tumor. Instead of another slapfest or screaming match between these two women who've been at each other's throats for years, something miraculous happened. As Hope broke down over the thought of losing Liam, Steffi did the unthinkable. She reached out and pulled her longtime enemy into a comforting embrace. My TV nearly short-circuited from the shock. But that wasn't even the most surprising part. After the hug, these two sworn enemies actually locked hands and vowed to stop feuding for the sake of their daughters. Girl power indeed. A decade-long rivalry on pause. Let's be real for a second. Steffi and Hope have been circling each other like sharks since, well, practically forever. Some of the most memorable showdowns in soap opera history have resulted from their conflict over Liam. Remember when Steffi literally stole Hope's wedding by ziplining into the ceremony? Or when Hope encouraged Carter to steal Forrester creations right out from under the Forresters? These two have pulled each other's hair, slapped faces, and delivered burns so savage they should come with fire extinguishers. So to see them unite in grief over Liam's diagnosis? I'm not crying, you're crying. Jacqueline McInnes Wood and Annika Noel absolutely killed these scenes. Emmy submission material right here, people. The way Steffi's face softened with genuine compassion as Hope fell apart? Chef's kiss. Besties in the making. Or disaster waiting to happen. But here's the million-dollar question that has the soap Twitterverse absolutely exploding. Will this newfound friendship actually stick? My insider sources at CBS tell me the writers are seriously considering a long-term alliance between these former enemies. Imagine Steffi and Hope having tea together. Or Steffi welcoming Hope back to Forrester Creations with open arms. But come on. This is B&B we're talking about. How long before something or someone reignites their rivalry? One particular tidbit from Thursday's episode has me raising all the eyebrows. Steffi previously told Finn she wanted one last moment with Liam. Excuse me? One last romantic moment? Because that's definitely how it sounded. And with Hope reportedly reconsidering her relationship with Liam in light of his diagnosis, we could be setting up for the mother of all triangle revivals. What the fans are saying. Social media has been blowing up since this episode aired. The reactions are all over the place. What happens next? Here's my prediction. This friendship between Steffi and Hope is going to last. At least until Liam's condition takes a turn. Because let's face it, this is soapland. When was the last time anyone actually died from a terminal illness? I'm betting on Bill discovering a miraculous experimental treatment through his connections. Then watch how fast these besties go back to battling it out for Liam's heart. But for now, I'm enjoying every second of this unexpected alliance. It's about time these two powerful women realize they're stronger together than apart. Their daughters deserve it, and honestly, so do we after all these years of watching them tear each other down. What do you think, soap fans? Will Steffi and Hope become daytime's next iconic friendship? Or is this just the calm before an even bigger storm? Drop your predictions in the comments. And stay tuned for next week when Liam apparently tells Hope to consider a future without him. Will she follow his advice or fight one more time for their love? Sheila interrupts Bill in Liam's heart-to-heart talk. The bold and the beautiful recap for Monday, May 12th. reveals that Hope Logan kept quiet about Steffi Forrester's secret spill. Sheila Sharp also interrupted Bill Spencer and Liam Spencer's conversation, so here's how Monday's B&B episode played out. At Brook Logan's place, Hope wanted to reach out to more specialists and figure something out to help Liam. However, Steffi insisted they'd already gotten plenty of opinions, and that there was nothing they could do. Hope once again struggled at the thought of telling Beth Spencer and Kelly Spencer that their daddy wasn't going to be around anymore. At Il Giardino, Bill and Liam traded apologies after their recent face-off at the Spencer mansion. Life was too short to get stuck on a disagreement, according to Liam, who had something to tell Bill. Before Liam could say more, Sheila interrupted with praise for Bill over Luna Nozawa's pardon. Liam complained about Luna's paternity test manipulation, but Sheila knew it must be tough for Bill to turn off his protective feelings toward her. After Sheila hinted that maybe it wasn't too late for Luna and John Finnegan, she took off and let Liam get back to his conversation with Bill. Bill wondered what Liam was going to tell him, so Liam talked about his admiration for his father. Liam thanked Bill for making him into the man he was today, so Bill got choked up and said he couldn't imagine his life without Liam in it. After Hope texted Liam to meet her, he got up to leave. Bill ultimately let Liam know that he wouldn't accept his son's resignation from Spencer Publications, and smiled over Liam, leading them into the future instead. Next, Liam paid another visit to Brook's house, where he shared a sweet conversation with Hope about how perfect Beth was. After Hope talked about thinking back on their conversations, she admitted she felt like she took Liam and their love for granted. Liam didn't see it that way and pointed out that they both made mistakes. Once Liam mentioned always being with Hope one way or another, he pulled her into a hug as they both struggled to hide their sobs. While Hope kept quiet about knowing Liam's medical news, Luna made a pitch to Finn at the Cliff House. Since Luna felt Steffi was the problem, she begged Finn not to let his wife keep them apart. Finn insisted his family was the most important thing to him, and that he wouldn't do anything to cause pain for Steffi. Steffi entered the room after Finn made it abundantly clear that a relationship was not an option, and that Luna could not return. That left Steffi looking shocked and furious as she demanded to know what Luna was doing there. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Steffi will make some fierce predictions about Luna being shut out of Finn's life for good, so stay tuned for updates on Luna's reaction. The bold and the beautiful, the race against time to save Liam Spencer from an inoperable brain tumor has turned into one of the most emotionally charged medical sagas in recent soap opera history. With Dr. John Finnegan at the helm of a desperate and unprecedented medical effort, he's joined forces with Bridget Forrester and Grace Buckingham, forming what fans are already dubbing the neurological dream team, in a high-stakes crusade that fuses cutting-edge science with deeply personal stakes. This storyline, a masterstroke of drama, is testing relationships, shattering rivalries and uniting bitter enemies, as the grim specter of death hovers over Liam, transforming him from a romantic fixture into a symbol of fragility, legacy, and hope. As the curtain rises on this emotionally devastating narrative, Finn emerges not just as a doctor, but as a man haunted by the possibility of losing someone he once saw as a rival, and now perhaps even calls a brother. His evolution from adversary to ally is poignant, with the trauma of Liam's decline forcing Finn to confront the complexity of his own relationships, his marriage to Steffi, his professional boundaries, and his emotional investment in saving a man he once detested. What started as obligation has become an all-consuming mission, driven by midnight research sessions, hushed phone calls to international specialists, and an unwavering refusal to let fate have the final word. As the tumor's aggressive symptoms continue to deteriorate Liam's health, exhibited through disorienting dizzy spells, emotional outbursts, and frightening blackouts, the medical team is left with no choice but to consider riskier and more controversial options. Bridget, harnessing her global network of research contacts, pushes for compassionate use authorization of an unapproved gene therapy protocol, while Grace, with her expertise in patient care, balances the quest for a cure with managing Liam's pain and preserving his dignity. And yet, even as hope flickers faintly on the horizon, the storyline intensifies on an emotional level, punctuated by intimate scenes that reveal just how deeply Liam's illness is affecting everyone around him. Steffi, Liam's ex-wife and Finn's wife, is torn between the past and the present, between grief and guilt, between strength and vulnerability. She tries to remain stoic, Yet her eyes betray her heartbreak as she watches her husband pour himself into the mission to save a man who once kissed her behind Finn's back. The layers of emotional complexity become even more riveting as Hope, Liam's longtime love and the mother of his child, battles her own devastation. In a scene that practically demands an Emmy for Annika Noel, Hope clasps Liam's hands with trembling fingers and promises to stay by his side through every procedure, every consultation, every crushing moment of despair, even as she conceals the truth about the limited options left. Their tender moments, filled with whispered regrets and half-smiles through tears, transform the living room into a sacred space of love, fear, and impending goodbye. And yet, in perhaps the most unexpected twist of all, Steffi and Hope, two women whose rivalry over Liam has defined the bold and the beautiful for over a decade, find themselves locked in a tearful embrace, their shared sorrow forging a fragile but powerful truce. This moment, when Steffi breaks the news of Liam's terminal illness in Brook's home, and Hope, instead of lashing out, collapses into her longtime rival's arms, feels like the emotional epicenter of the entire storyline. It's as though the years of slaps, sabotage, and romantic betrayal have all melted away in the face of something greater: the possibility of losing Liam forever. Their hug sends shockwaves across the fandom, with Twitter ablaze and fan forums debating whether this signals the dawn of a new era. One where Steffi and Hope might actually support one another, even collaborate at Forrester Creations, united not by love for Liam, but by love for their daughters and a newfound respect. But make no mistake, this is still the bold and the beautiful, and nothing stays peaceful for long. Even as Steffi and Hope align in grief, Steffi's cryptic comment to Finn about wanting one last moment with Liam stirs suspicion. Was it a romantic farewell she was hinting at? Is her growing closeness to Liam stirring old feelings, particularly as she watches Finn risk everything, including his medical license, for the man who once broke her heart? And Hope, now reconsidering the ending of her relationship with Liam in light of his illness, might be on the verge of falling for him all over again, despite all the pain and betrayal they've endured. Meanwhile, the medical drama is far from over. There are persistent rumors that Finn will soon get in touch with the disgraced former mentor. This enigmatic individual is said to specialize in cases that appear to be impossible, but whose methods are regarded as unethical, and whose license was revoked as a result of a high-profile scandal. Will Finn dare to trust this medical maverick, potentially putting his own reputation and future on the line? Or will Bridget, ever the cautious optimist, convince him to follow a more conventional but slower path, one that might arrive too late? And then there's Bill Spencer, whose deeply emotional scene with Liam, interrupted only briefly by Sheila Carter's unwelcome interjection, shows a rarely seen, raw vulnerability in the patriarch. When Liam tells his father that he's proud to be the man Bill raised him to be, the silence that follows is thick with unspoken fears and regrets. Bill, usually composed and commanding, is reduced to a trembling voice, eyes brimming with tears, as he begs his son to keep fighting. Their emotional exchange not only underscores the urgency of Liam's plight, but also reaffirms the central theme of this storyline: that in life's darkest moments, the bonds of family and forgiveness can shine brighter than any rivalry. A darker undercurrent is also hinted at by Sheila's brief appearance, which is predictably punctuated by veiled threats and cryptic observations. Her praise for Bill's handling of Luna's situation, and her pointed remarks about Luna and Finn, suggest that Sheila is far from done manipulating the people in Finn's life. Could she end up playing a role in Liam's fate, either by derailing the treatment effort or, in a shocking twist, facilitating a miracle cure through one of her shadowy contacts? Nothing is off the table when it comes to Sheila, and her presence is always a harbinger of chaos. Back at the hospital, the dream team works against the ticking clock. Finn studies Liam's latest brain scans with haunted eyes, Bridget pores over pages of experimental studies, and Grace consults with palliative care experts, all the while facing mounting pressure from Steffi and Hope, who are desperately hoping for even the faintest glimmer of good news. In one particularly gut-wrenching scene, Finn breaks down alone in the medical supply closet, overwhelmed by the weight of expectation and the looming specter of failure. His tears are silent, but his anguish is palpable, and in that moment, the line between doctor and loved one is obliterated. He is no longer just trying to save a patient, he is fighting to keep his family whole, his past mistakes from defining his future, and his own guilt from crushing him. And what of Luna? Her confrontation with Steffi, caught red-handed at the Cliff House trying to sway Finn, adds a sharp new wrinkle to the saga. Luna's plea for Finn to reconsider their connection, especially while his wife is drowning in emotional turmoil, reveals a selfish streak that could upend everything. Finn's refusal to betray Steffi seems resolute, but Steffi's growing unease suggests she's no longer sure of anything. As the boundaries between grief, loyalty, and desire begin to blur, the triangle drama might not be as buried as fans once thought. So what's next? Theories abound. Some speculate that Liam will be flown to a Swiss clinic for an experimental nanobot therapy, funded by Bill's limitless fortune and guided by the rogue genius Finn contacts. Others believe the show is building toward a tragic exit, one that allows Liam to die a hero's death while uniting the warring factions of his life in peace. Still others suspect that the ultimate twist will be that Liam's diagnosis was a mistake, an elaborate misdiagnosis planted by someone with a vendetta, perhaps even Sheila. One thing is certain. This storyline has redefined the emotional core of the bold and the beautiful, whether we are racing toward a medical miracle or getting ready for a heartbreaking goodbye. The fragility of life, the capacity for forgiveness, and the unbreakable bonds forged in crisis are now more important than who ends up with whom. As Finn, Bridget, and Grace fight with everything they have to save Liam, and as Steffi and Hope try to honor the man they both once loved by lifting each other up instead of tearing each other down, fans are being treated to a bold new vision of what this show can be when it lets its characters truly feel. And regardless of what happens next, whether Liam lives, dies, or lingers in the balance, soap viewers all over the world will never forget this race against time. This test of love, loyalty, and resilience, which has reminded us why we watched the show in the first place. Will the dream team pull off the impossible? Or is the bold and the beautiful about to deliver its most devastating goodbye yet? One thing's for sure. No matter the outcome, the echoes of this storyline will shape the canvas of the show for years to come.